So I imagine we'll see pretty similar stats again from these players. 66% win rate for Debre so far. Very, very strong. 58% precision. Again, also very strong. I mean, that many guesses above 4.5K, that's impressive. And we see similar stats from Kapten, even higher precision and even higher win rate so far. He's been the biggest surprise, I think, of anyone for the World League so far. But again, both of these players, phenomenal. And the biggest surprise, I think, is that in moving, Kapten has the third highest win rate of any player in the league behind Consus and Blinky. And Debre, his weakest mode statistically so far, has been moving, which is again a surprise because of the sheer amount of geographical information that this guy has in his head. I think that, these are players we both thought would do pretty well, maybe not this well, but I think, especially in the moving, the results have maybe been kind of the opposite of what we expected to see.
Yeah, great point there to bring up. And again, we just see where they were on those standings there. They're very close to each other here. Kapten a bit ahead, which makes sense, again, because of those stats. So let's see how this goes. The players are off. We're on moving. It's round one.
I'm very interested to see how this moving game goes. Because again, on paper, I would expect Debre to be the better moving player, but that hasn't really been the case so far. Kapten has been incredibly impressive with how he's played in moving. I think 75% of his guesses have been above 4,500 in moving. And he's been taking his time, and he's been doing a great job.
Yeah, and I see people in the chat asking some questions about kind of the way these matches work. How do they have so many less matches? By the end, every single player will have played the same amount of matches, but some players take some weeks off in the beginning, some are taking some off in the end, but everybody will play each individual other player at least one time. So it'll be the same amount of matches for everybody by the end. And now, in this one, Debre, the 4997 to start us off.
Both players had the area code for the state of Londonia, which is where they were, but Debre, it looks like he had a town name on the sign that he had, and he was able to find it, so good start for him, but still a solid guess from Kapten. Very much keeps him in the game. And round two looks like we may have a Russia.
Seems that way. Or is it a Ukraine?
That might be Ukraine. Yeah, it is Ukraine, yep. Makes sense with the poor road quality, but you see that letter I, the second letter in that second word, is a letter only found in Ukrainian. You won't see that in Russian. So that can be a helpful way to distinguish the two from each other. Debre, currently with this pin, a little northwest of Kiev. We do have a lot of these pine trees, which are sometimes called Baltic pines because you see them a lot in the Baltic states. But those are found generally more north in Ukraine, so it makes sense that both players are converging towards the north.
Yeah, both just sort of there, but again, as you said, Debre a little farther west. Timer's gonna run out, and it's gonna be Debre a little bit closer, but in the scheme of things, both players are very close there. That's only 207 damage. Debre extends his lead there. We go into round three.
Yep. Again, great guesses so far from Debre, but of course Kaptens have been perfectly fine. More than enough to keep him in the game so far. It's like a Portugal round here. Algarve. Algarve is the southern region where both of the players have clicked. Alcuchim, I think, is the town. I don't know. We'll see if Debre is able to find that. And he does, right on the border with Spain.
He finds it. Wow, Debre is performing amazingly right now in this moving game. The 4999, 500 more points of damage. Kapten, 4,800 health. We're going to round four.
This is more what I expected to see from Debre in moving. He's only won 9 out of 16 moving games so far, which is quite the surprise because of how good he is at moving. I mean, I've played against him moving plenty of times, and he's extremely strong. So I think he's definitely been underperforming a little bit in that respect so far, and looking to right that. That's at Camargue. That's a region in far southern France. We'll see if... I mean, he probably knows the area code at least. Yeah, Camargue, there you go. It's that national or the regional park where Debre has clicked. I think Kapten's going to have a region guess that is still very, very good, though. So again, Debre may be closer a little bit, but Kapten's not going to lose that many points.
He's making a very good region guess there. Yeah, they're both still so close. Debre, even closer though. 4909. Wow, Debre is performing a bit of a masterclass here. Let's see if he keeps it up. But Kapten is really playing well too, especially without having the same information that Debre's had on some of these rounds here. We're gonna go on to round 5. It's a 3 times multiplier now. We're in Australia.
Signs for Albany and Perth. Debre sees there. Albany is on the south coast right there. He's got a road number as well. We'll see if Debre can line this up. I don't know. Oh, looks like Kapten has the same sign. So, again, I doubt we'll see too much damage done here. Either way, Debre may be looking for the 5K. And once again, he's got it.
Debre, the 4999 again. He's always one off from that 5K. So impressive from him, and he looks so calm doing it.
But that's the thing, this moving duel format does not really incentivize the pinpointing as much. It doesn't matter if Debre's close in every single round. If he makes one big mistake, it's over for him anyway. So really, it's all about consistency more than anything. Buleleng, both players have this. We'll just move to the next, but Debre's still flawless.
Wow, so impressive from Debre. Flawlessing, and we're going into round 7.
But again, you never know. All it takes is one wacky round. Kapten could turn it completely around here.
He definitely could. He's putting pressure on fast here on Debre. Kapten's good enough to do it. Let's see if it works out. Debre's following suit in a similar area, just a little farther east. The guesses come in, and Debre! He's on top of it. He's 34 kilometers away with no signs, no nothing. What in the world?
What are we seeing from Debre right now? Again, like I said, his moving win rate is 9 out of 16 so far. And that's kind of insane to think about given how he's playing right now.
Yeah, this is the best Debre performance we have seen so far in the league, I would say without a doubt. And we are on round 8, the flawless. He's holding it strong. He does have a bit of a sign there.
Yeah, he's scanning for the 64. I don't know. It doesn't look like he sees it, but now maybe he does. Yeah, again, I think he's on the 5K here. He's just going to line it up.
Oh my god. Debre, what are you doing? That's another 4999. Kapten on 1700 health.
And he's so good at finding that information and using it efficiently. That's what the best moving players can do, which is, again, it's amazing to me he's only won about half of his moving games. We have a Thailand here. This is round 9. 2 rounds to go. Debre has been untouchable so far.
Wow. Unbelievable Debre performance currently going on here in the GeoGuessr World League. Round 9, 10 round limit coming up here, and there's only 30 seconds left on this one. Debre has arrived at some highway signs here. Might be kind of hard to find, but he has a region guess.
Yeah, 4-digit roads are generally quite a pain to find, but it looks like he's found it right by the Malaysian border. He's got the 4057. He is locked in. Kapten needs a very good guess to stay alive here. And I don't know. I don't think he's south enough to survive.
Isn't. Oh my god.
Maybe?
It can.
I don't know. I think it's over.
Debre is just on it. 4972 flawlesses Kapten all the way in round 9.
That is one of the best performances we've seen in a game from any player so far. That was just a masterclass from Debre. Incredible moving gameplay there, showing that even if his stats don't show it so far, he is one of the best moving players out there. But again, we've seen some amazing stuff from Kapten in all 3 modes so far. He's been one of the best players in the league so far, and we will see if he can make a comeback here. He is not out of it by any stretch.
He definitely isn't, but wow, that I truly think that was one of the best performances we've seen in the entire World League from Debre in that moving game. Wow.
No doubt.
And he's continuing it a bit here. He gets a little bit closer there on the round 1 of the no move. Round 2 now. Again, can't move up and down the road anymore, but seems like even without that, Debre It's going to be closer. Let's see if he continues it here. Round 2.
Debre zooming in on Donetsk. In Ukraine, you get this black car with this fall coverage. Very, very typical for Donetsk. I like the guess a lot from Debre. Kapten looks like he zoomed on a similar area, but hasn't put a pin down yet. But I really do like Debre's guess here. Kapten thinking Russia. But it's really like late season coverage. Like, it's the type of coverage you might see in like Kaliningrad, but I don't know if where Kapten is, I don't know if you would get coverage this sort of late into the year. I personally am a big fan of where Debre is.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Kapten's saying it's not a red car, I go Russia, but we'll see here. Debre's gonna just be on it again!
Donetsk can be easy to forget about because, again, you're so conditioned to think, oh, red car is Ukraine, and Kapten, you can see him kind of trying to do a little mental reset there, maybe thinking, ah, man, how did I not think of that? But, yep, Donetsk can be a tricky place. But again, this is not over. Kapten just needs to compose himself and make the guesses we know he is capable of making.
Definitely is. I would assume the mental is a little chalked at this point playing against Debre, and you have to say, like, against some other players, the guesses Debre was making, we wouldn't have gotten to round 9 unmoving. Kapten was staying alive to the absolute end. Yep. But it's hard to lose even after playing like that. But now, on round 3, they guess on top of each other.
Wave.
Got a wave. Debre just drops a smile. Okay, the smile will do. The smile will do.
Yeah.
0 points.
Both players saw the Welsh language there. And if anything, seeing primarily Welsh would maybe push you more north rather than south in Wales, but, you know, hard to know. Both players did pick up on the language clue there. But now we've got something a little more interesting. Looks like, well, Indonesia, maybe? We've got oil palm plantation on a hill. But that's it. We just got some oil palms. We'll see what the players decide on.
Yeah, Debre dropped in Kalimantan and Kapten zoomed in on it, thinking he'll probably end up going there too. 30 seconds left on this hard one, so we'll see what they do. Both going to be in Cali. Kapten in East Kalimantan, Debre a little more central here.
Yeah, I could see either one. I think maybe oil palms maybe slightly more common central, but, you know, who knows. Could also be Sumatra for all I know. This is a very tough round. It's south.
It's south. Wow, Debre. 1,600 damage. Kapten less than half health here, and Debre continues to not lose a singular point.
Yep. Amazing stuff.
Round
zooming
5.
into the South China Sea. I'm not sure which I'm not sure which country he intended to zoom on there, but we have another Indonesia by the looks of it from Kapten. Again, not that obvious. We've got some oil palms again, but they're kind of planted in a row. An odd round here. I'm wondering if it could be Malaysia because the architecture feels almost off for Indonesia. Debre is literally hedging in the South China Sea. He might be hedging between Sabah and Sarawak. He knows that Sarawak has Gen 4 now, so he's not sure which one it is. And he's gonna go for it.
He's gonna do a little swimming. The water hedge is committed here. Kapten is actually in West Kalimantan in Indonesia. It is gonna be Malaysia. It's gonna be mainland, and the water hedge is gonna win him that round, and he keeps the flawless. Kapten, 640 health.
Had he committed Peninsula, he would have won there, but I think better safe than sorry, especially when you have 6,000 health. You may as well, you know, not take any crazy risks. We're in Argentina. Can Debre complete the double flawless of Kapten here? Again, Kapten, we're saying again, he's been one of the best players in the league so far. Like, we've seen a couple flawlesses in the league so far, but not against a player this highly ranked.
Yeah, this is an absolute feat if Debre pulls this off. I mean, we've known Debre has had the talent, and he's been not too happy with his performance in some of these World Cups so far. I know he's gone home thinking to himself, wow, I could have done a lot better, and I've talked to him about it as well, and seems like he's not going to let that happen again in this World League. He wants to take it to the World Cup, and he's showing how unbelievably dominant he can be when he's in the right headspace. 5 seconds left here on this Argentina. Debre's got a little lake he likes. Kapten also with a guess down, and it's going to be Kapten closer, finally breaking the Debre flawless.
Finally, wow. And honestly, could have been an opportunity for even more points there, given how far south that round ended up being. But, well, yeah, I mean, good for the mental, if anything, if Kapten's got any mental strength left after what's been happening. But we've got 4 rounds to go in the no move. Kapten still with a chance to bring this back. Would be an amazing comeback. But again, we've seen it before, and we've seen just how strong he is. Very tricky Peru round here.
Yeah, let's see. Can Debre bring it back to the dominance he's been showing? Losing only 1 round so far. 20 seconds left on this round in Peru here.
So it's very green. I mean, the eastern part of Peru is all super green, super tropical, but the problem is north to south, it can all look very, very similar. And players with very different guesses right now. Kapten's a lot more south.
Yeah, Debre just opting for a pretty central guess here. Let's see who ends up being closer. It is going to be Debre, and Debre is going to take the overall matchup right then and there, only losing 1 singular round. What a dominant performance from Debre. Unreal.
Yep, and he's already gone. What a man.
Gets up and leaves.
What an incredible performance from Debre through and through. Start to finish there. Just, yeah, amazing, and a much-deserved 2-0 victory against a quality player.
Unbelievable. I wonder if he's even going to come back to the chase.